Hey guys, finally back in Jersey. Today was actually an easier day.
Much easier.
We had a direct flight from San Diego, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, so it's about almost 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time now. It's about a 5-hour flight. All was pretty good with the flight, except for this one woman on the plane who had a kid that was screaming the entire time, because obviously she has no parenting abilities. So, you know, headphones helped to cure that a little bit, but thankfully the kid finally fell asleep towards the end, because I was probably going to chloroform him. Or put him in a, chokehold and just till he passed out.
Pass him out.
Or choked her out, one or the other, because just
choked the whole family
pretty
out.
Much the entire plane wanted to slap her one.
Oh my God.
But, you know, this is probably going to be one of the final video. I'd say this is going to be the final video log of this journey. You know, we had a blast in San Diego. Unfortunately, it was only like 2 days really that we had, but we covered a lot of ground, got to see a lot of things. I think it always sparked our interest to probably travel back to Cali eventually and see other things that we could do. And that's really about it in terms of the trip. But John and I were talking just, you know, about our plans in terms of competing, about balance in life, things like that. So John is currently cutting down for an NGA show in September, correct, John?
Well, actually, we're probably changing course. I haven't really announced it to everybody, but I was talking with my coach, who is Cliff Wilson.
He's becoming a Chippendale.
What? That's funny. Random. So Cliff and I were talking, and I've run into a few issues in my prep, a couple of injuries and some setbacks, and my body wasn't necessarily responding to some of the measures that we've taken. And it wasn't necessarily anyone's fault. It's just, you know, I was a former I'm a former fat guy. You know, I was a very
still a fat guy.
Double R. No, I you know, was a big person at one point, and you know, so some of that's going to be issues that will probably never go away, and then some of that also is just genetics. But in my off season, I was taking in about 360 grams of carbs a day to just maintain where I was at with all of the lifting. I was doing 6 days a week with a daily undulated periodization, working with Mike Zardos, and now I have a modification with DUP that I'm using, and I'm somewhere sitting around 180 grams of carbs. So you can tell that's, you know, it's half, and I'm still not budging where we need to budge. So basically, Cliff told me that what he'd like me to do is consider really trying to peak in the spring and take a very long time to diet so I can reach my full potential for my pro season. So what we're going to do is I'm talking to the NGA now to try to do an October show just so I can keep my pro card, which means I will not compete in an IFPA show this year, which means I would give up my ability to compete in the IFPA as a pro, which, you know, I'm not too upset about. I mean, it would have been nice, but I can always come back and do an OCB amateur show, kick some ass, and get an IFPA pro card along with Mr. Robinson over here. So at any rate, yes, about October would be my NGA show, and then I would look to try to really peak in spring of next year if I competed after the NGA show in October. So do you want to talk about what we were talking about with balance and stuff? You want to lead in with that?
Sure. What we're talking about now, for instance, like John does, you know, coaching as a side business, you know, and he has a job full time. So do I. I have a job full time too. We put in a lot of hours. You know, I travel to Manhattan every day, put at least 2 hours there and 2 hours back every day with my commute. You know, I got my USBF and my DFAC pro cards September 2012. I have 2 years to compete again, so I'm going to wait till 2014 to come back. And I'm also having the same thoughts in terms of what shows I'm going to do, how I'm going to compete, or, you know, which pro card to keep, which pro card not to keep, whatever the case may be. And also I was thinking maybe eventually competing in the OCB and try to go after my IFPA pro card as well. You know, John and I both have certain limitations. I have a lot of knee injuries, so it's hard for me to develop my legs. You know, I'm pounding on them as it is. I can get a lot of strength in them, but the size takes a little while for me to get. And John, on the other hand, has, you know, legs are a strong point of his. At the same time, he needs to get his chest built up more, but that's just the way we're built. So they're both things that we're currently working on. You know, at the same time, I'm married. You know, my wife is going to be turning 31 this year. I'm already 32. You know, kids are probably going to be in the near future, things like that. So it's like, competing, children, house, work, bodybuilding, all that kind of fun stuff. So, you definitely need to find balance in life and what you can or can't do, or what's reasonable. You got to make sure bodybuilding doesn't take everything over, because if all you're focusing is on bodybuilding, you're going to find yourself, I guess, being a very lonely person for a very long time. So I think in 2014 I'm going to do at least one show for the DFAC. Definitely, I think Suburban Warfare, I'll come back, since that's where I won one of my pro cards. I'd definitely like to make it on stage. I would say top 5 placement would be ideal for me. It's a possibility, it's a goal. That's what's going to aim for, see what happens. At the same time, John is going through some things at work as well, where, he just got a new position. He's in the process of moving, looking for an apartment of his own, getting his life together. So, I guess there's going to be a lot more things to come. Obviously, we're never going to quit bodybuilding. We're always going to be bodybuilders. But, we're trying to plan it in an intelligent fashion where it fits reasonably within our life schedule, though cutting is never easy.
Never.
It does take a lot of dedication and hard work, but at the same time, we want to make sure that all the other goals that we're trying to reach in life are not suffering. And that's really about it, I would think.
Yeah, the only thing I would really add to that is when I coach people and I talk about the life balance issue, one of the things that I say is that, bodybuilding is meant to enhance your life, not take it over. And with that being said, there's a lot that you have to do when it comes to nutrition and supplementation and training, and there are some trade-offs, not drinking your face off on the weekends and, all that jazz. There's definitely some trade-offs. However, I tend to think that bodybuilding can really enhance your life and can make it a very healthy life. But it's challenging when you're cutting, when you're getting ready for a show. It takes hard work, it takes dedication, it takes prepping food, and like for example, when we traveled to San Diego, I prepped so much food it's ridiculous. Unfortunately, when I got there and I rented out a fridge, yes, the hotel made me rent a fridge.
A broken fridge,
which I was getting to. When I put my food in the fridge, I didn't realize that it was broken. We went out for the night to kind of go see the town, and then came back. We crashed, woke up the next morning, realized the fridge never really got cold. So all my food went bad. So I've done the best I could while I'm here. While I was there, it is what it is, and that's the kind of stuff that's going to happen when you prep. That's why I tell people you need longer time when you're prepping. Whatever time you think you need, double it, because things happen. I've had issues with my hip, I've had issues with my ribs, my knees, shoulders. I mean, things.
Knees and toes.
Things happen. So, with that. Keeping all that in mind, I think that I would not be a good coach if I didn't say that I have to make bodybuilding fit into my life, not the other way around, not my life fit into bodybuilding, and I'm going to be the very best I can be when I step on stage. I'm not going to just show up. So if that means that I have to take a couple steps back and not, do the shows I wanted to do and not hold an IFPA Pro card, it is what it is. I'll come back, I'll get a IFPA Pro card if I want it, and all the other things in my life have to fit to make bodybuilding fit. So think about that when you're thinking about your competition plans and your off season. Take a lot of time to come in to be your best, and there's nothing wrong with taking a couple steps back to, take a couple steps forward in the future.
Doesn't he always sound so motivational and rehearsed? He does, I swear to God. It's like he's a public speaker sometimes. But anyway, hope you enjoyed all the video logs, the random ramblings that we had going on, some of the little adventures and misfortunes that we had during this trip. Plenty more to come, plenty more workout videos, plenty more explanations of why we do certain things, what supplements we use, if we change our diet plans or whatever. We'll always constantly update you guys. All right, keep subscribing, please keep watching, and talk to you soon.